Hey, it's home. It's a real estate season. We got so much going on here. We record half a show while I'm recording it. Welcome to the Home Buyer Seminar. I'm Bill Gross, along with my colleague and good friend,
Patricia Castillo.
and our colleague and good friend and fellow probate person now.
Shannon the lender. How's it going, everyone?
And Sean was just sharing how we had a real estate agent that works with him who had a buyer who went to probate court in Los Angeles today to buy a property, get a sale confirmed. What was that like?
It was interesting. Very first time going to court. I went there at 7:30 a.m. just in case. I didn't know what to expect. So I was like, maybe it's going to take an hour processing or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. But it was pretty simple. You just walk right in, metal detectors. You're like, okay, this is interesting. Have your court, go to your court, I guess, section and see what floor you're going to be in. And then pretty much just wait. And yeah, it was a very interesting experience. I mean, and you get to see other cases, other people, what they got going on. And
you get to hear
like,
all the tea.
pretty much like that's, I'm like, man, then no one just waits outside. Everyone's going to just stare at what's going on. But yeah, it was interesting. And I mean, for us, it was very straightforward. Hey, any overbidders? And looked around, no one's in court pretty much. And they said, all right, cool. You guys got it. And there was some Zoom, obviously Zoom people there, but yeah, it was a
LA Court Connect is officially the LA County service that they dial in on. And so some attorneys and some people go video, and theoretically, you have competition might come in, though they have to have the cashier's check. The reason why you go in person is to overbid. You guys already were in escrow. You were confirming your sale, but I could have gone in and overbid them, but I would have had to have a cashier's check for 10% of the bid. Made out to the estate ahead of time. So you can't do that on video. You have to be there in person.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Statistically, how many people actually do that overbid?
It's December and I run a report about every 90 days. So don't remember the exact numbers, but I want to say of the sales that get confirmed, about 1 in 4 have overbidders. So the interesting thing is when you go for a court confirmation sale, which in your case you have to drive to downtown LA, which is maybe not too far, maybe it is. You got to probably pay to park somewhere or walk a long ways.
Yep.
You're not going there for any other reason. It's not like you happen to be in the courthouse, unless you're that guy, but generally speaking. So you're going out of your way. The court starts at 8:30. You think you have to be there at 8:30, in your case 7:30, but they even start probably till 9.
Yeah.
Right? And then because your court, they put you at the end, so you probably get called to about 10.
Yeah,
so you're there from 7:30 till 10. Yeah. And so that's kind of what the process can look like, is you're there for quite a bit. And so the reason why I tell people who are going to bid on probate properties the court confirmation is call me ahead of time. I can look at the case and see if it's likely to go. But of those that get confirmed, 1 in 4 have an overbidder, but only 1 in 4 hearings get approved. Today there was one other court confirmation going on today in LA County. There were 2 yesterday. There's 2 tomorrow. So of those 6, probably 1 or 2 will get confirmed, and 1 or 2, the other 4 or 5 are going to be continued or denied. And so you don't want to go down there and find out you're going to have to go back again.
Interesting. Yeah, this is a very interesting world.
Yeah, very specific. And so I would say if anybody on this call, if you're bidding on one of those properties, feel free to reach out to me. This is my area of expertise. I track literally every case in LA County.
And you can get a great deal with these probate deals as a first-time home buyer if you. Yeah. I mean, obviously no one's, they're getting it at value. I guess no one's really getting it's like a smoking hot deal, but let
me ask you, did your buyer feel like they got a good deal? They think they got a couple thousand off, 5,000 off, 10,000 off? What were they thinking?
Yeah. I mean, from what I'm hearing, because again, I wasn't involved. I didn't talk to them about the negotiations part, but they just called me, hey, we got accepted. And they're just excited. They're very excited about this house. Sure. And it has what they need. They want something for their kids. They're, hardworking family, and they're like, hey, we can really do this. It kind of for them, it's more of, I have the feeling of, hey, we're happy that we can get this done, and we're going, FHA as well, so that's another thing that they were just, hey, is this going to work? So no, I think in the beginning it was kind of a little scary because everyone's, we're talking to the agent and they're telling me, hey, can you come? We're doing this, we're doing that. So it was kind of a little nerve wracking in the beginning. And even the buyers, we and the buyers were there before the agent was, and they were just kind of nervous. Like they're not knowing what to expect, So I think after when they said, "Hey, it's confirmed, it's done. Can you repeat your names again just to have the full names?" And then, it's kind of like, okay, that kind of the judge gave them that bit of a reassurance that, hey, this is happening, So, and we're done on our side. We're clear to close except for the actual confirmation. So,
Right.
Now that that's done, I'm like, hey, look, let's get this thing wrapped up. So they're just happy.
Well, I will say in your case, the listing agent actually handled this appropriately. Most do it incorrectly and would have denied your buyer a chance to buy it. Most wrongly assume that what I would call your buyer, the original buyer, subject to overbid, has to be all cash. It has to make an offer that waives all contingencies. That's not true. Your buyer, if they're FHA, went through the normal process. They put maybe 3% down or whatever it was, or EMD. They did their contingencies, their appraisal, their inspection, this or that, back, forth, blah, blah. Then at some point, they said they're ready to go. The only difference is for your buyer, they couldn't lock the rate in until the court hearing because they filed this 30 days ago, unless they want to pay for a 45 or 60-day rate lock. That's the only real difference. Your listing agent properly showed this as a regular sale subject to court confirmation. A lot of the listing agents wrongly put in has to be all cash, has to be 10% down EMD, which is wrong. It's just that's just misunderstanding the process. And so hats off to your listing agent. And I will say that your buyers and your agent should stay on top of the attorney to make sure they file the order.
Okay.
I just noticed the attorney is not a regular court confirming attorney. I've never seen the name before. He may do a bunch, but whatever. But oftentimes attorneys assume because they filed the order before the hearing that it's ready to go. Not true. The judges won't look at anyone until it's submitted after the hearing. So the attorney needs to make sure he files it. Today.
And is there any records to show that he filed it?
It's filed online, so you can actually check the documents online and see if it's been submitted.
Got it. Okay. Nice, man. Guys, even I learned something on a home buy for seminars. So
yeah, I think that, if I just had to summarize overall, I would say that real estate is increasingly competitive. Yeah. And the way to compete is to dive deeper into individual niches. Some niches are product types of properties. Some are geography, because every market's different. I have a listing right now. I'm working with Patricia, and because we know a little more about the house a couple doors down, we have a little more insight as to what to do, and I can prepare my customer. Probate's a niche. That people work with certain types of, VA loans. Veterans are different. Seniors are different. So this is the area that I've worked in my last 6 years, specialized in probate, and there's a lot to it. I don't know everything, but I learn more every day myself.
Wow. Well, I mean, this is a great introduction to your world, and I see why you're in it.
It's a lot of fun.
100%. Yeah.
I went there one day and I just got hooked and couldn't go back. So, okay, we're boring everybody else on this. I could geek out on probate.
No, but this is
2 a.m, and I could talk about this for an hour or two, and then you can catch me the next day. I could do it again for another hour or two. I talk about this all day long, but I know the rest of you, like Patricia, poor girl, her eyes are glazing over. She's got half the.
This is good for first-time home buyers,
I've gone with you to court in the past, Bill. You've invited me and I've gone, and it's
what do you think about it?
I've gone on my own, and when I first went, now that after COVID they do the virtual logins where you don't have to attend personally in court. And so I went one day and I thought, is there anybody here? Is it just me? Where's the judge? Where's everybody at?
Right.
And they don't open the doors a minute earlier, so it really does good to get there an hour ahead. You think I'm going to get to court an hour ahead so I can beat everybody, but there's nobody to beat. Nobody's going to court anymore in person.
Yeah.
I tell people, let's meet at 8:00 at the Starbucks and I'll buy you coffee, because if you're late, you miss out.
Yeah.
And if you're early, you waste a half hour. But if I'm buying a cup of coffee, I'm a charming guy. You'll get over it. But you can't be late. And then some days it's backed up. Like when you went to the court, did you go in on the front side is on the first floor, or on the side by the Disney Hall, which is the fourth floor?
The first one I was on, what was it? Hill Street.
So Hill Street, sometimes you can take a half hour to get in the door. So if they open the doors and say 8:00 and you're not at the front of the line, it could take you a half hour to get in and you're sweating. Oh, am I going to be 5 minutes late? The truth is the court doesn't open their doors till about 9:00. You don't want to tell people that because one day the court will open 8:30 and your client's going to miss the property, and that's how it goes.
Yeah, that's what our appointment is at 8:30. Yeah.
All the court confirmations are 8:30 pretty much.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I do want to mention though so going back to what we were just talking about as far as maybe a first time buyer trying to get a good deal on a probate property. It's kind of a hit and miss because there could be more competition if the price is lower and it's more attractive to investors and you're getting more experienced buyers, right? Because investors, they look for properties that are in distress. They look for probate sales, trust sales. And so you could have some competition in that sense. The other thing is that sometimes if the probate property has been, nobody's lived there, it's been vacant for some time, and you have a new buyer that's coming in, it could be a little bit of a project, right? The home might need some cleanup. It's going to need probably updating, things like the big ticket items like a new roof, new plumbing, because you think about it, someone's lived there for a very long time. And once they reach their, senior elderly years, they kind of do less and less to maintain the home. And so some things will go unattended, like plumbing and a new roof, right? So it depends what kind of buyer is looking at these properties. If they're not afraid to buy a home that's going to be a project and they have the time and the money to invest into it, you can get a really great probate property, probably in an amazing location, and you're going to put your own sweat equity into the property, customize it and make it your own, right? But if you're dealing with a buyer that doesn't have time or the money to do all that, and they're looking to buy a home that they're approved for, let's say they're approved for $800,000. I'm working with a client right now that's approved for a little over 8, but they don't want to buy a property that needs a ton of work, even if they can get it for a lower price. They'd rather max out their loan approval and the purchase price, get something that's move-in ready, completely remodeled, where they can just move in and not have to worry about doing any kind of updating. So it depends on the person. The home that I bought that I'm in now was a trust sale.
Oh, really?
It did a ton of work, but I bought it for $400,000. And so little by little, I've been updating it. Yeah, but I like doing that. I like renovating the properties that I'm going to live in. I've bought and sold few properties that I've lived in, and I've bought them when they needed work, painted them. I painted my kitchen. Those are things that I personally like to do, but that's not everybody's cup of tea. So it really depends on the type of buyer. Some people may be scared of getting into probate and going to court. It's like, oh my God, this is a big deal. But it really depends on what their preferences are.
What you said that you buy houses and then you fix them when you live in them. I mean, on paper, that always makes sense on paper, right? But what firsthand experience seems like, what do you think are some of the cons that people should know if they have that same mindset of, hey, Patricia, I do want to do the same thing you're doing. I want to live in it, put some sweat equity, but what is some of the other sides that people aren't thinking about that you probably now know?
I think the time that it takes, right, to do something, whatever it is whatever update you're going to do to the property, obviously budgeting, that's a big one. And you always have to budget for unexpected expenses, not just what you're planning to do to the home, but unexpected expenses, because you might discover another item in the home that needs attention as you're renovating something else.
Yeah, but okay, then that goes to, am I now mad at my inspector for not catching something that I didn't expect? Like, what do you ever, I mean, like for yourself, if you see something that you didn't expect, do you think that, or how do you deal with that?
The inspector can see only up to a certain point, right, in a property, whether they're looking in the attic. Sometimes there isn't, it's not fully accessible. So the inspectors are going to do the best they can, but those are just some of the risks you take. I mean, sometimes, you know, the inspections are not going to be 100% guaranteed. They look at the property on that specific day. If
Mm.
a pipe cracks next week, you know, that things change, right? It's like when you take your car to the mechanic, everything could look okay today. Next week, you know, your water pump breaks. Now you need a new water pump. So it's with properties. There's so many different components, right? And like the roof, that's a big one. It takes a beating. It has all, you know, it's basically all the wear and tear from the outside elements. Then you have the plumbing and all the usage, right, of the home. Who's living there? Do you have, you know, a couple, two people, or do you have a full-blown family, couple with 3 kids? I mean, there's more wear and tear on the home.
I'll add a factor also when you're remodeling is if it's just you, it's one thing. With you and a spouse, having gone through that, didn't really think that went through because for me, we bought a house and you know, it needed a lot of work while we were there. It was a beautiful deal. It was a great deal. Worked out financially, but it was easy for me to say because I was working in the office 20 hours a day. My wife was not only overseeing the contractors, was living in the house, and pregnant at the time. So that didn't really go well. Just it didn't go well for the marriage. The house was great and it was a great deal, but it was not. It wasn't the funnest.
So how do you work through that? How do you work through that as a
Dude,
couple?
I live one day away from the whole thing blowing up. I just live there as a husband. I do my best. 39 years so far in a couple days. We just passed our 39th year almost a month ago. So 39 years, 3 weeks, and 3 days. I just do it one day at a time. I don't know how I hang on.
But who's counting, right, Bill?
I live in the penalty. If you watch a hockey game, I live in the penalty box of marriage. So, but I'm still in the game. You know, we're still in the game. But
you take your beatings and you get back out there.
I'm pretty tough. You know, it's funny you say that because I look at my friends. I have a lot of friends who are divorced, and the only difference I think is I'm just tougher. I just beat.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, I don't think I'm a better. I don't think I'm a better husband than they were. I don't think that's. I mean, I'm not holding to that. I'm going to say I'm about the same.
I think you spend most of your time in your office taking listings.
That's my strategy.
And you're buried in work.
You know, I tell people all the time, I'm a much better husband away from the house than I am at home. I'm a great husband when I'm not home. Yeah, that's my strategies for sure. For sure, that's my. It's kind of like in football. You know, when your head, you run the ball to run the clock out. And I'm just trying to run the clock out and stay in the game. She can hear that.
Awesome.
This isn't good. She's going to kill me when we're done. Okay, sorry.
Hey,
okay, let's go back to home buying. Okay, so yeah, there's always an interpersonal factor to that. Just make sure you're the right person and go through those considerations if you're going to do it and get your team together. The first time we did, I didn't really think it through, and it was pretty ugly. But it's nothing that some jewelry and some flowers couldn't solve, I guess.
Yeah, but you know what? I know a lot of buyers, a lot of young buyers, that's what they want to do. They want to buy something that's fixed, that needs work.
Yeah.
They're not mind putting, getting their hands dirty and building the equity themselves. So that's why I know a lot of people that are of that mindset. But like you said, what don't I know when I get the keys? That's something that you guys, for sure, especially with the many years of experience, could teach these, first-time home buyers, for sure.
I haven't met anybody who bought the house and put in sweat equity and regretted it. I know there's movies about that and TV episodes about that, but as a real estate professional, I've not found anybody tell me they regret that. I've had plenty of people, like I think Patricia was one, who bought their house through probate and it needed a lot of work, and they took on that risk and they were happy with the outcome. The 2 houses we bought, one was a gimme great deal because I knew the realtor who I was working with her. And the other one was a complete redo, and it was a lot of work, and it was tough, and I don't regret it. It was hard at the time, but it was worth it. So I would just, in general, say there's great opportunity if you can do the work yourself. And when I say myself, I didn't even own a hammer. We got the contractors, we got the painter, the carpet guy. We bought the carpet, we bought all the stuff, and didn't use a contractor. But nothing was major. We didn't do electrical. We didn't do plumbing. So that's another level. Surface areas are pretty easy to get contractors to redo. When you talk about electrical and plumbing, you need somebody with some expertise. That's a little tougher to monitor and select a good person. Though I will say we have a good plumber finally here at our house. We've had some nice upgrades here done recently.
Nice. Awesome stuff, guys. Well, man, I think this was a jam-packed episode.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap it up, guys.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap it up. Okay. So, well, I watch your Instagram, Patricia. You tell me you're going to highlight one listing and your two other listings. So what's going on with you here? Aren't things slowing down? It's the holiday season. It looks to me like you have more listings I can keep track of. One was in Lakewood, I think, and one was somewhere else, Hills.
Yeah, and you know what? I wish I would have put it on the market yet. I'm actually working on listing it right now. So I mean, I don't have pictures to highlight it, but
Which city is this one in?
so I'm listing a property it's a condo. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo, and it's in Monterey Hills, which is right in between like Highland Park and El Sereno area near South Pasadena. That's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo. Has assigned parking, and it's a nice property. It's right near Debs Park. You're familiar with Highland Park, right?
Yeah.
So it's right near, adjacent to Debs Park, which is a really popular spot for residents out there. That one I'm listing at $559, and then I have another condo coming up. It's a 1-story, single story, really nice, cute condo in West Covina. That's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath with a garage, 2-car garage, and a low HOA, $407. Covers, pretty much. I think it even includes water, but that one's coming up in a couple of weeks, so probably the beginning of the year. But the other condo in near Highland Park is going on the market today.
Very nice.
Nice.
I was a little delayed because my photographer was still working on some of the final touches.
Same photographer that you
Andy.
referred to me?
Mm-hmm.
He's been great. He's done 2 jobs for me. He did the property in Bellhaven and La Palma, and he did commercial property downtown LA. He did a nice job on both.
Alameda.
I think you're a little more particular on the photos. He's waiting for me to give him a bunch of rewrites. I said, no, that's good enough. I don't really need all that extra work, but it worked out really well. So, well, thank you so much. Well, and then, so if someone's get a hold of you, Patricia, how do they get a hold of you?
My cell number, 323-365-9909.
Fantastic. Shannon, what's up with you? What's the latest, and where are you going to be this weekend, and how people get a hold of you?
Yeah, this weekend just working. Got, if anyone want to get it to hold me, my number is 661-317-8484, or my Instagram, Fun with Shannon. And yeah, just pretty much trying to get, I have a few people that are trying to get their houses before Christmas. So working on that, making sure everything's good to go for the next 2 weeks, and then hopefully get a little bit of a break the beginning of January. So
You had some agent call me and give me a whole sob story. Their clients want to move in before Christmas. I'm all, great, it's vacant, ready to go. And then the offer's like $300,000 below the list price. That'd be a pretty nice Christmas if you could close the house at that price, but it couldn't happen. Sorry, but anyhow, hey, look, active market right now, a bunch of offers in. I got a couple on my listing. We had, Patricia was showing one of our listings in La Palma. We had agents from the Caravan show up, so there's stuff going on out there. If I can help, I'm at Bill Gross Probate on social media. We do this every week, new episode every Friday. Please reply, comments. Love to hear more from you. If I can't speak to you, on behalf of Patricia and Shannon, make today your best day ever. Thanks so much, everybody.
Bye.